Okay, so we're going to do the fudge. So here is the first layer. So then I did a little test, put it a little aside and did a test around and tried it, so it did turn out well. So essentially I'm going to recreate that for the top layer and kind of create a little different type. But if you want to do just this, that works too. You can do just this as your fudge and just double what I am doing instead of splitting it. And you'll just have just regular chocolate fudge. So here we go. So I'm just reheating the caramel sauce that I made yesterday right now. As you can hear, the microwave is done. And I also have some peanuts here. So can you figure out what type of fudge I'm making yet? Okay, so here's the caramel. Nice and soft. Oh, that smell. I'm just gonna pour it all over that first layer of fudge there.
The average person spends 26 years and 3 months in bed, and that's normal.
Now that that's all over, a nice cover that first layer of fudge, I'm gonna add the nice roasted peanuts. Just a nice, you don't want too many. You don't want the taste of the peanuts to overwhelm the fudge. But you want that nice salty sweetness contrast as well. So you can see here, I just covered the fudge in the caramel sauce and spread peanuts over top. So now what I'm gonna do is put this in the fridge to give it a chance to cool down a little bit while I make the top layer of fudge. Okay, so this looks a little bit of a mess right now. But in this pot I have 200 grams of milk chocolate, a half cup of that homemade condensed milk that I made, and about a quarter of a cup of butter. So I'm just melting this over medium heat. Just want to melt and stir constantly, and eventually this mess will be gorgeous melted chocolate fudge that you saw earlier. See, it's just been a few minutes and it's already less of a mess and more of chocolatey goodness. So just keep constant stirring. Got to keep an eye on this because we don't want to burn the chocolate. So you can see now kind of how that's all everything's melted. It's all combined. And now that is ready to pour into our glass dish to create that top layer. So there we go, just pour it right over top. Lightly spread that chocolate over top. You don't want to get that caramel mixed in. You want to still create those layers. If it doesn't cover the whole thing perfectly, that's okay. Fudge is not supposed to be clean. And it's just the edges. If you need a clean piece, you can get cut in the middle. Little tip there. So if you want the chocolate a little smoother and a little more professional, you can also use a bain-marie to melt the chocolate. So if you didn't see the video where I talked about that, essentially what it is a pot of water, boiling water. You put a bowl over the top of the boiling water that's sits on the bowl, but essentially you want the steam you're cooking with the steam. So you want it to be able to sit on the pot but not touch the water and still have access to the steam. And then you stir the chocolate and melt the chocolate directly in that bowl as opposed to over the direct heat. So you get a kind of smoother texture. It's also very commonly made. Hollandaise is a big one that uses that that technique, chocolate melting and hollandaise. But this one works as well too in a pinch if you don't want to take the time to do the boiling water, or this works too. You just have to just watch it. You have to watch it too with the bain marie, but yes, it definitely, you know, you get that smoother finish to the chocolate with the bain marie than you would doing it the way that I did it here for you. So now it's all here. You can see it's not perfectly covered. I don't want to lift it up too high because it's sliding, which is fine. And we'll put it in the fridge and let it completely cool down and solidify. And then we'll cut into it and we'll get to see how well the layer approach worked. So just wanted to make a little add-on note. Bain marie, it can be also known as a double broiler. Technically, a bain marie is just the pot of water itself and not the pot that you put or the bowl that you put the ingredients in, but it can be used interchangeably as well. But just in case you see, you might see bain marie, you might see double broiler. They're essentially the same thing. You don't put the food directly in the heat, on the heat, in the liquid or whatever it is that's actually directly to heat. You use induction, I believe. Throw back to high school science. I think it's induction. Instead of direct heat, it's using the steam either way to cook the food. So that's kind of, well, the term is technically not interchangeable. It is commonly used interchangeably. So just in case you see that there, that's what they could be referring to, either one of those, depending on what the context is and kind of how strict to what the word actually means they're following. I've noticed that's very, some words in cooking, you know, they've kind of, what they traditionally meant, not so much anymore. So yeah, just a little lesson there on in case you're not sure of, in case you're seated and wondering what the difference is, or I'm not exactly sure. That's what it is. So yeah, bain marie is technically the bath, which is bain is French for bath, the bath of the water, and then the rest, where a double boiler includes both aspects of the cooking process. So there you go. Another note, you can also melt all the ingredients together, the chocolate, the condensed milk, and the butter together in the microwave, if you must. I mean, I did reheat the caramel in the microwave, so, but I did originally cook it on the stove, because that, I don't think you can do that in the microwave. I've never actually tried it, but I don't think that would work well in the microwave, caramelizing sugar. But, however, you can melt the chocolate, the butter, and the condensed milk together in the microwave if you want. It is an option there for you. So, you know, there's three different ways essentially to combine that. So whatever you feel most comfortable working with to get the end result, essentially, is what works. Okay, here it is. Ideally, I would like a little more time, but I have to get ready for work. And it looks, you know, I can do this and it's not sliding. So that's a good sign. So we're gonna cut into it and see. You shouldn't need a sharp knife for this, like a butter knife should be able to do it. Oh yeah. Oh, look at those cuts. Okay, now I need to take out a piece. There we go. So like, the layers kind of did separate a bit. Like, it was hard to, I didn't take it out in the best way, but kind of see there the one layer of fudge on the bottom, the caramel and peanut, and then the second layer of fudge. That was good. Yeah, I think that tastes like the what my goal was with creating this. That's the taste that I was going for. So that is good. Yeah. So, and there you go. Some caramel peanut chocolate fudge. Enjoy. Hope it works out. I would love to see photos or videos or whatever you feel comfortable doing. I'd love to hear your stories of anybody that makes this or anything else for that matter. I love hearing stories about it. Or any difficulties if you ran into any difficulties or anything like that. Even if it's something that I did or whatever, anything out there, I would love to hear it. So there you go. Enjoy the caramel peanut fudge.